idea owners, they came and pitched their ideas, and then after that, the teams were formed. So throughout the night, the organizing team was also busy and placing the teams and all that. So I guess all the teams are in order now. So let's hope for a good weekend and also an energized day today, because it's full of knowledge and also so much of things to do. So let me just run through the quick agenda for today. So at 9:30, we have the business model canvas workshop happening. Then you guys have 1 hour to work on your business model canvas. And as I mentioned on Discord, so you guys might have received an email with a template for you to fill in for the business canvas model. So I suggest, along with the speaker who's coming in for the session, the team can work. There's a 1 hour gap before the next session, so you guys can work on it during that time. Then at 11:30, we have the market validation workshop. So that workshop is all about getting your idea validated from customers. So the speaker who's coming in at that time would tell you how to do it and also guide you. So then again, so that will be for 30 minutes. So from 12 to 2 p.m., the whole team has the time to work on your business canvas model and also start on the market validation. So which includes your lunch break as well. So make sure you take a quick lunch break and then start on working. Then at 2 o'clock, we have the mentors coming in. So we will put up a schedule on the Discord channels, so the mentors can come in to your groups and you can present the business model canvas PowerPoint presentation that you made from the template that we've shared. So the mentoring sessions will go on for 2 hours. And sorry, can my screen be seen to you guys? Sorry, yeah. So the mentoring session will go on for 2 hours. And after that, from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, you guys have the time to work as a team and be ready for the next workshop, which will happen at 7 o'clock. That is the pitching workshop, where you will get a good understanding of how to make your presentation and how you should pitch. And especially when it's an online presentation, there are so many things that you need to think about. So we will cover all that in the pitching workshop. So this is a general overlook of today. So there are a few tools that we will share with you if it's not yet shared on the email. So we'll make sure to share these to you guys today. So these are the mentors who'll be coming in the afternoon. Just a quick glimpse. So we have an amazing speaker for you. He is Mohammed Fawaz. So he's the founder of Curva. And he is, of course, the expert in business model canvas. And we have him here today for you to gain knowledge and also have a good understanding about the business model canvas. So Fawaz, hi, are you here?
Hi, very good morning. Hi, thank you,
Hi,
Anagi.
Fawaz, hi.
Hope you guys can hear me well, right? Yeah?
Yes, yeah.
All right. Okay, let me
So I'll
just.
stop sharing. Yeah.
Right. Hi, guys. Very good morning. How are you all doing? Right. As Anagi said, I love doing business model canvas and I love exploring it around business models. But at the same time, I'm not a person who's gonna just keep talking, and I don't just want to download the knowledge. I'm sure that you guys has access to all sort of resources nowadays, and I'm sure Startup Weekend has done a lot more justice in terms of getting all the content placed right. So with that understanding, I don't want to go into a lot more content, but I would like to get a lot more engagement, right? Okay, so to drive the engagement, I'm going to start with a small activity. Right, can I have a hi in your chat? I'm sure that I should be able to capture this in StreamYard. So can I have a hi so that I know that you guys are present? Right, or just put a comment on your if you're watching it on YouTube, Just put a comment on hi. Yes, hi Chamika. Thank you very much. Great. This is only Chamika. All right, I get a lot of people. Niva, Avali. Yes, nice, nice. So I need your presence, right? And let me make sure that I'm not gonna take more than 60 minutes, right? Whether I cover business model canvas or not, your time is not gonna be taken more than 60 minutes, right? Great. Okay, let's get into the business now. Now, okay, let me get you a QR code, right? Okay, I'll put it on share. Okay, right. Who team? I am my team around here. I have just sharing you a link on the private chat. So if you can share it to all of them in the comment, I'll also share a small QR code. Yes, this is the QR code. Right, right. Let me do it. Yes, yeah, all good. Okay, let me share the screen for the moment. Right. Yes, okay. On YouTube, the Startup Weekend team has put a link. Can we all get into that link, please? Right. So we're gonna do a little bit of an activity. So there is a link. So I'll also share the screen so that you understand what I want to do. Let me share. Yes. Yes. Here we go. Hope you can see my screen. So I see 11 people on board. I see 12 guys, 12 of you on board. So I just want to know, select the most appropriate image that tells you how you feel right now. What's your feeling right now? All right, beautiful, beautiful, interesting. All right, nice, nice. So this tells us, and I see 14 of you online, which is great. Uh, Right. So wow, like it's mostly about you feel like a star, right? Most of your composition feels like a star here, right? Great, great. So as I told you, this is very important. In terms of understanding business model, you need to be very sure you are a very clear mind, that you're going to focus on it to understand how you're going to make money, right? It's very important to define and have a very detailed understanding about your business model canvas. As I told you, I'm not going to take a lot more time, so let me keep moving. What are your expectations today? You want to discuss many things under business model canvas, or you're looking forward just to learn? So you just want to learn business model, or you want to discuss? Right, interesting. So it's only one you have responded. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Right. So it's mostly you want to discuss many things under this topic, right? Beautiful. And then there are people who want to learn it out. So you see, it's very important. Now you understand about a certain aspect of team composition as well. You need to develop conversation. Business model canvas is not just filling one piece of paper, or just, yes, the team has done a beautiful work in terms of getting you a PowerPoint presentation done, so you can just fill in your business model component into it. But this effort is not just filling it. This effort is making sure we go through a 9 block thinking process, right? So we have a thinking process to develop our business model canvas. Beautiful. Thank you very much, guys. Right? Okay, just tell me this. Are you more of a team player or a leader individually? I need to understand the composition today. Like, how many of you feel that you are a team player, and how many of you feel that you are a leader material? Right. Nice. So we have around what? 25% of leaders on board. Beautiful. Beautiful. And team play is about, yes, it's 60 to 30 or 50-40, right? So it tells us very important message to us. Business model canvas, when you do it as a team, you need to make sure you are getting 4 or 5 different angle of thinking of one single block. So if you are taking consumer segment, so you have 4 people to think, right? So 4 people has 4 different experiences. So it's very important to be a leader and to be a team player in terms of getting your business model right. This is not just for business model, but anything. I'm sure the startup weekend as a concept is creating a lot more collaboration for you to work it as a team, right? Beautiful. Thank you very much. Right. Let's go ahead. What is your greatest strength? Is it to lead and inspire, to motivate and get work done, or to be passionate and be a team player? These are very important questions, especially when it comes to BMC. Just think, put you into a place. Right. I see most of you, I mean, as of now, are talking about to motivate and get the work done. Beautiful. To passionate and be a team player. Nice. So, while you answer, I will also say you this, right? So, it's very important to understand who can contribute more on what segment of business model canvas, right? Because we in our team composition come from a different composition of expertise. Maybe you are a financial expert, maybe you are a market development expert, maybe you are a tech expert. So it's very important, because usually we take this as an exercising of filling the paper. No. Right now, imagine there is a component called cost. You need to understand, okay guys, okay, you are a tech guy, right? So you are going to develop our tech for this. What is the cost related to you? And he or she will have to contribute, okay, look, I need a server, I need this API, I need this particular platform. So you need to understand your strength within your team, and to do that you need to understand your greatest strength. So if you are a person to motivate and get the work done, yes, speak about it loud. And if you are passionate and be a team player, you contribute it. Okay, look, I think I know this is what I would like to contribute, and to lead and inspire, right? Right. One of the very few last questions. So you have a text to input. So what industry your business belong to? If you are to put the industry of your business, we may be right and wrong. So that's why we are here to learn. But I want you to input, type and insert. Okay, I think my business belongs to a medical industry. I think my business is belonging into education industry. I think my business belongs into automobile industry, or automation industry, or an IT industry. So what do you think? Healthcare. So I see agriculture, healthcare, beautiful. Education industry, beautiful, right? Beautiful. So we have we have two agriculture and farming. We have education. We have computer industry. Okay, IT industry, right? So this tells us a different composition, right? And this, okay, it looks like agriculture is one of the major, because we are talking about sustainability, right? Now, I also want to touch on sustainability. Uh, Sustainability is usually the core of any business. If your business can sustain, and especially it has a sustainability goal, and it can be sustainable development goals as SDG, or it can be have a sustainability goal of well-being of a community, or it can be sustainability. But sustainability in the business is, can it self-run at a given point, right? Beautiful industries. Wishing you all the very best, and I love to be. So this is again the composition, right? So we have this composition today with us, right? Have you done BMC before? Business model canvas before? Have you done business model? Which, okay, I have some maybes coming in. Okay, I have yes, beautiful, right? So we have yes and maybe. So which, okay, we have a little bit of a no, but okay, no, looks like okay, right. It's okay. So now, what I wanted to say is, if you have done BMC before, make sure that you contribute with your team, right? I'm sure whoever who have done it, they have got a basic knowledge. And if you have not done it, absolutely no problem. That's why we are here. You're just going to have a glimpse of it. So enjoy your new time learning experience of business model canvas. If you are maybe, yes, you can still contribute. So why again I ask this question is to make sure within your team, okay, who have done BMC before, right? Okay, it's you. Okay, good. So then you have a little more understanding, but help us. But we are going to also learn and do it, right? So you need to have that particular team attitude. Wonderful. Right. So What do you want by improving your business model canvas? Is it sales you are looking for? Is it customers are you looking for? Is it transaction? Is it visibility? You can avoid the last. Sorry, it has to be the business career. But yeah, it also says digital marketing career. But why do you want to specially figure out your business model canvas? Why? If you are to choose one of it, as an early startup, as a conceptual startup today, why do you want to figure out your business model canvas? To figure out the sales or to figure out customers? Interesting. So it's mostly about customers, and I also see it's also about sales and customers. Beautiful. And it's also about visibility. It's okay. It's mostly between. Okay, now it's an interesting curve. So it's sales, customer, transaction, and visibility. All right, beautiful guys. Right, I think you guys are amazing of making this more colorful. Right, so look at it. So I see sales and customers, traction, visibility as one of the major components here. So this is going to help us, right? All right. Thank you very much for getting us clear on this, getting us contributed into this. Likewise, you have contributed for responses here. Let's commit to actions of getting the business model canvas right. Okay, so let me stop sharing it and share the presentation again. Right, super. Right, let me share the screen, window, business model canvas. Right. I'm sure you see a screen of business model canvas. Yeah, nice, nice. Right. Okay. So, business model canvas is a rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and capture values. So, as we discussed right now, as we just had a brainstorming session about how it works. So, this is the basic rationale about creating, delivering, capturing value. So, now you have created this company to create a sustainable value, right? And now you need to understand what is the process of creating that value, and how are you going to deliver to your beneficiary or customer or consumer, right? And how are you going to capture that value? So this is very, very important, right? Now, so if anyone knows, I'm just going to fast track this, but there is a connection between Isaac Newton and Apple, right? So anyone who can put it on the chat immediately, just like that, what's the connection? What, like Isaac Newton and Apple? What are you talking about in BMC? You're not a science like student, but I see a lot of agriculture industry here. What's the connection between Isaac Newton and an apple? Any idea? No. Okay, so I'm sure that I'll get some chat, but I'm just going to keep moving, right? And it was not an most of the time what we think is, okay, wow, Apple inspired him, okay, Apple what made the gravity, or Apple just made him to think about gravity. But one thing that we often forget would be, uh, he was studying gravity for 20 years. Imagine you and me sitting down in some other trees and for an apple falling down on top of us. There's high chance we would have we would have had the apple in a good taste. So it's very important to have a very clear understanding about what are we doing and why are we doing this. So like a subject matter expert, it's okay if you are not a subject matter expert, but start becoming one, right? So you learn more. The more you learn, you will get more closer to the concept of business modeling, right? Okay, let's say uh, like we all wanted customers and sales, right? So how do we define our success? Customers, how many customers do we need to be successful? Let's say for example we need $1 billion in revenue. This is the simplest science, right? Even anybody can do, right? What is that? If you are selling something with $1, you just have to sell it for 1 billion people. For example, Coca-Cola, right? A soap, like it's all international company out here. But I just wanted to make you think, when you're thinking business model canvas, by easy mathematics, if you want to make a $1 billion, if your product is $1, you need to sell it to 1 billion people. But the interesting part is, if you start to think about product wise, okay, Coca-Cola If they do it right, people might consume it at least twice a day for 2 meals, maybe not for night, but let's say snack and lunch, right? So we position it EGB with kottu, like whatever, Coca-Cola with kottu, kottu network, Coca-Cola, whatever we call it, right? So they place it. So now your number of customers required to achieve that $1 billion may come down. Now, why am I saying this? This is the ultimate goal. For you to figure out your strategical business model, you need to think for it, right? Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna officially start the BMC right away, right? So you can think about a car and a car park, or a slot of a park. Imagine you have all the team capability, and the idea of the team is to build a truck, or a bigger version of SUV or a Jeep. And you have a car parking slot to park the car for a mini car, hatchback, or a nano, we'll call it in our language, right? So now you take the truck that you made and go there and try to park. You can't park it. Now tell me whether is it the problem of you making the truck bigger, or was it a problem that you don't have a car park to park? It's not a problem of both, right? Definitely you'll have a car park for the model that you have made. Oh, but let's say if it is not in your visibility, you might have to put a lot more fuel and go for a car park. So similar example fits into your product market fit, right? Very simply. How does it fit? Your product is your car. Your car park or a car parking slot is your business market, the market, right? So you need to identify the product features and the market adaptability to adopt these features to consume your product, right? As I said, business model is all about creating, delivering, capturing value, right? Okay, beautiful. Let me, yeah, lost it. Good. Right. So there are two type of canvas. One is lean canvas, which is structuring yourself as a startup, right? So very entrepreneurial. Like you're gonna structure yourself as a startup. It's you, right? Very lean. But business model canvas, structuring yourself as a business, which you are a team right now, right? So I would highly advocate for you to understand the business model canvas, uh, whereas it's gonna make. So this is a lean canvas. Just look at the lean canvas, but we are going to focus more on the business model canvas. So guys, without further ado, this is the business model canvas. So as I said, we are going to define and divide business model canvas into both two components. One is market, one is product. So look at it, right? So if you look at everything else is perfectly aligned. So customer segment is market, customer relationship, channel, and revenue. On this side, key partners to build the product, key activities to build the product, key resources that you need to build the activities and the partners, and the costing structure. And the market gives you money. But look at that one guy who is in the middle. Unique value proposition. What is the value? What is the value you create there? Is it the sustainability? Is it the beneficiary? Is it the human centric approach? Or is it the cost? Is it the quality? What is the unique value proposition? That is the particular feature which makes you connected with product and market. So usually product market fit is communicated to the product and market, or cross communicated through the unique value proposition that you create. So if you define a value, so does that value is there in the product, and is there a vacuum, is there a consumer market, or is there a consumer pain point for that value in the market, right? So this is important approach, right? So as I told you, the 9 building block, right, is just a thought process you need to go through, not just filling it, right? So yes, you and me can write up all the customer segment, but have you thought through it? It's a thought process. It's a guided, structured process to think your business model. So number one is customer segment. You can call it a CS, right? Let's go. And if you look at it, this is the order of filling the business model canvas, right? Customer segment, value proposition, channel, customer relationship, revenue stream, and key resources, key activities, and key partnership costing structure. Right, as I said, customer segment, the different groups of people or an organization and enterprise aid to reach or serve. Now, who is your customer? Right? So I think I was looking at some of your team name, I mean team concepts, right? So that is online shopping using augmented reality, AR, right? So now, who is your customer for it? Is it, are you going to sell to business, or are you going to sell it to individual consumer? So imagine you are a shopping experience with augmented reality. So you can't say everybody who has a mobile phone and internet is your customer base, right? So you need to focus who is the exact market, right? So these are market who should have a certain attributes of luxury, or probably who doesn't have time. Now with COVID, that might pick up much more better, right? So what segment can we consume it? So is there a specific gadget, right? So they need to have augmented reality in their lifestyle, right? So what sort of a customer segment are we looking at, right? And if it is B2B, might be all the shopping complex. You are going to do an enterprise solution. You're going to sell it to all the apparel showrooms, right? So all like Fashion Bag, No Limit, Hamidia's, Candy, Tilakavardhana, all of it. You think, okay, they can't, people don't allow it for fit down now, and people are worried to go. And now, especially from yesterday, we have a problem that, like, not again, the public movement is not encouraged. There's not restricted, but it's not encouraged as a meaningful and responsible citizen. Now, what is that market? Okay, now a showroom with this much of capability, they need to have sit down rooms like this. So you have characteristics of a customer. You need to think on that. And let's say, for example, automated farming solution. So automated farming solution, is it for a farmer or is it for a farming company, right? So can a farmer individually afford it, or is it for a farming society? So who are you thinking, or is it a beneficiary? So okay, farmer is a beneficiary, but who is going to pay for it? So this is an important content that you need to make sure you are talking about, not the user or not the beneficiary. It's your customer. So there is a two different thing: customer and a consumer. Consumer who consumes your end product, right? Customer is who actually pays for it. So imagine you implement, somebody was talking about education system, right? So if you are talking about an education solution, sometime customer may be parent and consumer might be a kid, or sometime institute might pay you, but a students of this institute might use it. So you need to think on both, but focus more on who is going to pay you. Why? We are talking about business model canvas. So you have a lot of other models like impact matrix, uh, creative impact matrix to walk about what is the beneficiary, and stakeholder mapping to understand who are the beneficiary. But this is all about your customer, and segmented and multi-sided. Now, for example, it also can be automated, right? Like the market space, right? So if it is it a market space? Is it like Ikman.lk or Facebook group where you're going to connect the consumer and a supplier? You are an intermediate. So you need to work on that. So you need to understand what customer segment, and especially who is your set of ideal customer. Now, for example, if you are, let me take another example of the thing you have. B2B solution, online agriculture fresh e-commerce marketplace. Okay, right. So if I am buying through that, am I your potential customer? So what is the attributes of a customer? So for me to buy it online fresh, it's gonna cost me, right? So not like that Allah Pukade Akas Kedara, that I can buy the whatever the vegetable they get, they used to have a supply chain. But when I buy it through, it's gonna cost me. But you are creating me a value of organic or fresh, well maintained, well handled, whatever the thing. So, am I your customer? Do you have an attribute? Okay, it has to be a working class. This has to be busy people life or healthy driven life. So likewise, you need to have a segment of are your ideal potential customer. So that will help to position your value proposition. Now, number two. It's about value proposition, the bundle of products and services that creates a value for specific customer segment. So imagine you have identified two or three customer segment. Number one is consumer, so who are women who are between age of 15 to 30, who loves to dress well, but who's vulnerable for COVID, they don't want to go out. So likewise, and who comes from a certain spending capacity or buying capacity, so all of it. Now, what is the value proposition are you creating? Is it the experience? Is it the personalization? Right, so personalization is a cost, right? So if I want to have, let's say, in your augmented reality clothing store, right, apparel store, if I can have my kind of signature name on the t-shirt or printed, or my every time that I can get a different customization with the color, right? So just a very recent example. So I was on a field visit with the handloom industry. So I figured out the handloom industry has a lot more customization at a production level, but people don't talk about it because anyway they produce it one by one through handloom. So if somebody says, okay, I need black threaded with white with magenta color on the middle, and that's how you want your handloom sari or sarong or shirt, it can be customized, but nobody goes there for customization, and there's no cost of customization, right? So likewise, what's the value proposition you provide? So is it very low cost? So for example, if you are talking about automated agriculture solution, are you providing a cost reduction in the entire agriculture framework, or is it an efficiency increasement, or is it accessibility? For example, the reason why you are going online in a virtual augmented reality is sometimes someone from far away from Colombo might not be able to access that clothing store. So you make the accessibility and you drive the experience, or getting the job done in a very great way. Or is your value proposition is the status brand? For example, there are exclusive brands like watches, handbags. You have from 1,000 rupees to $10,000 handbags. So they provide a different value proposition, right? So now those are important context. Now price could be one of it. Beautiful. Now, let's go into channels, right? So, channel is an important factor of how company communicates with the reaches its customer segment. Now, you see, it's everything connected, right? So, you had your customer segment, you have the value proposition. Now, imagine you have your value proposition as a cost reduction, right? So, your customer segment is a mass consumer who wants to buy the product at a very good value of the cost. So, customer segment is identified, value proposition is identified. Now, how are you going to communicate to them? Is it very, so you can say channel types in five distinct phases, like own, it is your own channel, which is your sales force or web sales or your direct marketing, own stores, physical store, friends of friends, or it can be partner, can be your partner stores or wholesalers, or you are like, for example, let's say you are put your product, you are creating a product, you have put the product on the Daraz. So Daraz is a partner platform, right? So how is it social media? And don't just put social media, guys, right? I think the industry has got so much matured that social media has become very specific now. So if you're talking, even you can't just talk a platform, right? You can't say, okay, look, I'm going to communicate to my customers through Facebook. So then be very specific. You are going to create a Facebook page and communicate through targeted ads. No, you are going to go and tap into the Facebook available groups. There are groups of, let's say, there are groups with farmers. There are group with for medical industry. So we're going to go into the group and start conversation, right? So be very specific. Be absolutely specific on your channel. Don't just be like all holistic. As I told you in the beginning, it's all about thought process, driving into the thought, right? Right. Customer relationship. The types of relationship a company establishes with a specific customer segment. Imagine your experience, right? So you walk into a clothing store, you get a personal experience. They come and ask you, okay, so how may I help you? What do you want? Right? Do you want like, okay, I be very specific, right? So I want a shirt for this purpose, maybe in these colors, right? So they say, okay, so there is this brand, this will help, this will be good looking on you, right? And I feel very empathetic, because I mean, I am a person who would love an opinion when I'm doing my clothes, and I take about between 5 to 10 minutes maximum to buy a cloth, because I usually I take the person who sells as a like approach. Okay, do you think it's gonna work? Okay, let me try it. It works fine. Yeah, let's go. So likewise, you need to define your experience of the customer. So the customer relationship is crafting your experience. If it is automated, right? So imagine I buy on your platform. How do I communicate it? I get a message, email, or do I get a call, or do I get a WhatsApp? So if the WhatsApp, what is it? Does it address my name and tell me, sir, this is what? Do you want to have a change? Or you have a chat, for example, right? And like recently, I was reading an article about the new normal consumers or new normal millennials now, where this is basically 4 years back was considered as the future spenders, future consumers, right? So 4 years before, who was identified as future consumer, who are the consumers right now, love to purchase it through chat. They don't want you to call, they don't want you to email, they just chat and do the conversation and just pay it off and buy your product, right? So might be if you are targeting that customer, so how do we relationship? Now for example, right, you go, your customer market is about 50 years above. Let's say you are talking about, I saw home care, healthcare centers, right? So healthcare centers, if you are talking about your ideal consumer is a customer is someone who's living abroad and their parent is your consumer, but you expect consumer to communicate with you on very high level technology, right? But there is a mismatch. You identify customer and your customer relationship. So you can have multiple customer relationship or multiple identify customer segment with multiple value proposition, and you will have a specific different channels to communicate them, right? So I would say this is the most motivating point. You see that, okay, wow, how am I going to make money? Cash, this is cash a company generates from each customer segment. So imagine how is your B2B customer is going to pay you. Is it licensing fee, or is it for each purchase, or is it a transaction commission for each purchase? So if you know the market space, right? So they say, okay, 18% of each transaction, 20% of each transaction. So what is your revenue stream? And most importantly, you need to understand what are the number of revenue streams you have. Like අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ආදාය මාර්ගය කියලා, right? So what are the revenue streams we have? Now, is it one-off sale, or is it annual maintenance license if it is technology, or is it the product purchase, right? So let me, for example, take a couple of examples from your teams, right? Let's say B2B solution, which purchase produce directly from farmers and distributor sellers. So it's a marketplace, right? So it I think there are already existing platforms that I can relate it to, but thinking of their business model, right? So take it from the farmer. You can have two model. You buy it from the farmer, have a margin, and sell it at a decent price. You tell the farmer to put a better price on the platform itself. They take the photo, put the product on the platform, and a consumer buys it. So whenever consumer buys it, there is a transaction fee for you, which is being deducted from the farmer, right? So that you have created that value. So that could be one of the revenue stream. Or let's say you are talking about online platform for distributors and shopkeepers. So is it a one-off sale, or is it like SaaS system, that is software as a service? So is it where monthly subscription, or is it monthly subscription is based on number of users, right? Or number of branches, or is it no? Look, you have unlimited users, you pay this much for a year. So is it like level by level? Okay, I have three levels of products, right? First one is a freemium, which is free just for 5 users. Or like the second level is with these features, this number of users. So have you thought about your revenue stream? So it's very important to understand how it works. And system for greenhouse owners, right? How are you going to sell? Is it licensing month to month? And how exactly you want to do that? And most importantly, right, let's not forget, it will also alarm you what are the number of revenue streams you have, right? Right, now we kind of come towards a product side of it. Now, what is the key resources you need to make the business model work? Right, it can be your technological infrastructure, so like your human capital. Right, you need, let's say you are talking about augmented reality, you need to develop that. So what is the key resource? So key resource is not all the resources. Let us be very clear. Right, so you can have a lot more value additions. Right, so we are not talking about that, we are talking to your core product. Right, so if you're talking, and don't just go and put the key resources, I need a little more billboards to promote the businesses, I need a lot more social media presence. No, it's a resource which can help your business to grow, but is it your key resource? So categories would be mildly physical, intellectual, human, financial, and now with all the new normal aspect of it, digital plays a major role. So is it your physical infrastructure? So let's say if you are talking about a concept of a greenhouse, right? So do you want to have a physical place to exhibit it, right? Or is it, are you going to develop those pipes? So I know there are irrigation system which has been made on a sustainable level. Usually the irrigation plants in the ground goes with the PVC pipe. So I know there are a lot of sustainable models that even we work closely with one of our agriculture project in Jaffna. So what is it? Is it infrastructure? Is it the product? Right, or is it the human capital? You need developers, you need data scientists, you need front end developers, or is it the digital infrastructure? You need a lot more cloud spaces. Right, so you need to define what is the key resources to build you for the core product. And now you see the connection. This is what I love, the connection, right? Sequence. Now you have understood customer segment, value proposition, channel, right, and the revenue stream, and you came into key resources. And while keeping the key resources, what are the key activities? Now you should be able to connect any at least one activity to one of the resources you have identified. So that is why it is called as key resource and the key activity. So basically, without this activity, your product won't be complete. Right, the most important things a company must do to make a business model work. So is it the production? So is it the production, or sometime it will be the problem solving or the sales is where your business is going to begin. Because if you are selling consultative personalized model for greenhouses, you have not created a model, but you say I can solve your problem. It's a very consultative approach. So your key activity is what? To go and get a client, but sometimes you need to produce it. Right, so it's a production, it's you need to create the platform, you need to create the augmented reality platform first. So that's why you need these key resources, and this is a key activity. And the other one is the marketing. So you need to have the platform network, or is it the problem solving? It can be production, sourcing of the raw material, production of the raw material, or value addition of the raw material, or it can be the human resource contribution to build a product. So you need to identify what are the key activities. Last two to go. Right, the network of suppliers and partners that makes the business model work. Right, so three motivations, like, I mean, key partnership is all about why do we want that partners, and how these partners contributes to grow it well. Optimization and economy of scale. So let's say, for example, you have partners, or sometimes authority also can be a partner. Like, let's say you need a municipal council authority approval, or local government or department or authorities to approve for you to sell something for government. Right, so it's basically a huge partnership that you need, so it should work. Now, for example, your concept is great, and then it's ip right potential concept, but you need to mass produce it. You need a chemical factory, you need a plastic production involved in it, or you need a fiber, so you need a high yield molding for that product to come sustainable and environmental friendly. So now what do you need? You need a production partner. Maybe you outsource to China, or maybe you outsource to one of the huge factories here. So they are, you identified as your key partners, and this will help you. This thought process will help you. Okay, how do I attract them? How do I start conversation? As I said, filling this is not the task. You flowing through this thought process to do this is your task. Right, and can be reduction of risk or uncertainty. Somebody who is in the agriculture, now, for example, right, So if you have a concept, and if you can in some other way, I mean, if it makes sense, if you can partner with one of the companies who are into that already, so that will reduce your risk, and they will also add a lot more value of their experience in the market, right? So these are the key partnership that you should think about. And don't think about all the partnership which can work. Huh? What are the practical partnership? Now from here, don't think, okay, look, I think the Agriculture Research Institute in US would be our potential partner. Of course, I'm sure that TSW, the Startup Weekend, and myself, including, believes that you are highly capable to go and tap that set of partners. But can you do it right now? Are they your key partners or are they potential partners? So understand the difference between key partnership and potential partner. Sometimes we are so visionary that we go to the level the entire world we can partner with. No. What is your potentially, practically you can partner right now, which makes immediate sense to your business. The last, which is the paining part, right? The cost structure. Guys, you need to put all the possible costing components here. Can't be vague. Now you will understand all your costing component versus number of way of making money. Number of making money might be one or two, and you will see a hell a lot of costing components, right? So it can be fixed cost. So there is different type of cost, right? So there can be fixed cost where you develop a team. So if you're a team member, you might not pay, but there can be infrastructure cost. The infrastructure cost can be basic. Okay, all the cloud services and all of it's gonna cost us this, but whenever you add more GB, that comes under variable cost. Economy of scale, if economies of scope, and you can have cost for marketing. Let's say you are doing about an end product, you have a packaging cost, you have a production cost, you have a raw material acquisition, right? So all the costing component which you have defined. So your key resources has a cost, key activity has a cost. So link all of that one by one. Now, so this is a basis of handy tool to do the business model canvas. Now let's look at an example of like I'll go into Facebook in benefit of time, right? So if you go to Facebook, this was the Facebook when they started first, right? So if you look at their customer segment, they had two type of customer segment: users and advertisers. Very simple, correct, right? So anybody was a user and advertiser. And what was the value proposition? So they created connect with friends as a value proposition for users. So you and me, if you remember, for the first reason why we got into Facebook was to connect with known or connect to make new friends. Right? But this is the early version. This is about 2009's versions, just after the Facebook started the Facebook page. So this was the business model they had. Advertisers, the value proposition they wanted to create was relevant, accurate targeting of AdWords. See how specific the value proposition is, right? And what's the customer's relationship? For users, they are on the same side network effect. So as you and me are users, most of the time you and me communicate, oh, it's the same side effect. But advertisers is cross side effect. So if I'm an advertiser paying, I get a complete view of where the geography, what to contact. So I get an overall cross side view of all the users of my targetization, right? So that's the customer segment. And look at the channel. So connect with friends. Initially it was website, and also with the mobile app. And what are the key activities? Platform development, data center management, content management. And what was the key partner? Content partners. Why? Who develops content for Facebook? It's all of us. If there's no content, there's no. So initially, if you remember, Facebook had content partners, right? Not just user generated content. And key resources: platform, user preference data, network effects, all of it. So look at the revenue stream. They had only two revenue stream. So even if you are giving something for free, put that in the revenue stream, because why? That's going to have a cost. It will not give you money, but okay, right now that is a way people are going to use you. So you need to understand you are giving something for free. It's free and add revenues. Costing structure, look at it. Platform design and development and data center cost. So likewise, you bring it into a 9 element of the block. Right, guys. So what's beyond canvas? Okay, if you fill the 9 block canvas, are we all good? Wow. We have the business model canvas. Come, let's do business. So how many business model canvas that people would have done it? and then still they would have had a challenging journey, because I don't call it a failure. It's always a challenging journey that they would have made it work with passion, commitment, or with the re-entry. But what's beyond canvas? What can we do beyond canvas, right? So I've lost 8 minutes, right? So I would like you to ask a question, right? What can you do? What should you do after building the canvas? As I told you, I'm not going to take more than 60 minutes. If anyone can, you put it on your comment. What should you do after building your canvas? Just enlarge it, put it in your room. What? Anyone who can comment? No? I know basically YouTube chat comment captures in StreamYard little later, but thinking that you will comment, yeah? All right. So, okay, I get few responses, but however, what should you do after business model canvas? No idea? Right. Let's do this. Right. So I have a couple of responses here. Aruna says execute the business plan. Mithila says proof check. Right. Yes. Correct, Aruna. Correct, Mithila. So as like you say, but it's very important to understand what are assumption and what are validated. Because why? It's basically you, me, and the team is discussing, assuming. Right. So we assume that okay, this should be the case. Okay, look, I think this is the customer segment. But okay, imagine we go and say okay, we are going to have a virtual support for elderly home care, and we think okay, people those who are after 45 years, whose kids are abroad, who can spend money and all of it, filtered it properly, and we think okay, we have identified our customer segment. And if you can potentially identify such a set of people and go and speak to them, they might say, "Ane puta, wo mata orna." Right? Mage putage devani duwa is here. So my son's daughter is here. He or she is looking after. He is looking after. She is looking after me. I don't want these services. Might be. Or they might have a different mindset. No, no, I'm very spiritual. I don't want to come into all of it. I want to see the purpose of life. I'm not here for luxury. Maybe, I mean, still assumption, right? But when you go and speak to them, you will get it validated. Now, the second step is you need to take a grid like this and say, okay, look, these are validated. We did a survey. We spoke to them. Because I'm sure the next segment that you're going to talk about validation, right? So you will understand what are the types of validations, how to do it, but very important to validate it and keep, so get all the ticks done, right? So I'm sure that you get back into your PowerPoint presentation and do it. But as I told you guys, uh, as you all of you are great potential, you are here for a purpose, and I love the theme of this particular startup weekend, which is driving sustainability. So now when you are driving sustainability, let's also think, that's two things, right? So in business model you need to think commercial, but in sustainability you need to think for impact. So thinking commercial and thinking for impact is more important. Why you have to think on the business model commercial is so that your impact is long term, not just donor driven, not that sponsor driven, right? So that's why you need sustainability. But you are here for a great cause, right? I love all of your listed ideas, starting from online shopping using AR, system for greenhouse owners, automated farming solution, online platform for distributors, usage and proper disposal and use protective equipments, PPE kits. Imagine, right? Proper disposal of PPE kits. And I was going crazy about reading some stats about amount of mask and the PPE kits has come into environmental unfriendliness, right? An online agriculture portal, B2B solutions, all of these are great purpose, but all these great purpose to be sustainable and for community and the country and the world to be benefited with your solution, you need to have a sustainable business model. So the last part of it, right? So your business model canvas, costing structure is here, revenue structure is here. That's the base. So if your cost goes down, up, it will become unbalanced. right? But it's always good. Your cost is down and revenue is good. You're going to cycle it back into impact. So this is more important. People will ask you questions at some point. What is your initial capital requirement? Right? What's the valuation? Right? For you to tell the initial capital requirement, you need to understand how much of cost, how much of revenue will make, and how what is the growth strategy and all this calculation. And trust me, guys, when I started my very first business, uh, I did not know what is return of investment, what is the exit strategy, what are the components that I should focus. And you will laugh at me, but I said as my first initial capital investment, I went to an investor, and but I still was able to bootstrap it. And whatever the money that I thought that I can make the business work with ran out in 3 months, which I did for 9 months. But touch wood, like I mean, I think we work with a lot more projection, forecast, and realistic way of looking at it now, with a humble experience that we got. But I'm sure you're going to enjoy your experience. But I will repeatedly say one thing: this is not about feeling it, but okay, how can we balance sustainability with commercial effects of our business plan? Yes, I don't know. Let's say all the great global sustainability driven companies are funding other courses, right? So, which means they are rich enough by their business to do this fine. So, number one fact is focus who is your customer and what is the value proposition, what is the impact you are creating, right? So, especially let's say if you are working with farmer community, all of us know that farmer community has a buying power problem, right? Yes, we all know. And you can't run your business by giving it for donation, but think smart. What's the problem are you solving them? The problem are you solving them? Is it worth paying, or is it somebody's pain point? So might be agriculture departments, or sometime bigger. Okay, let's say you produce, your process might help them to produce bigger organic vegetables, right? And your process is very costly, right? But imagine, go and speak to a food city or bigger supermarket chain, and if they can say, okay, look, we can produce a large amount, will you finalize and confirm a pre-order, right? So that based on that, you can see some sort of raising method and go and do it. But you have to be successful, right? So likewise, you have to define the business model. Because why? Money is so important to run this compatibly. But you are not monetary driven alone. You are sustainability, you are impact driven. That's what I said. So you keep your impact and think for the impact. That's a lot of innovative way. And especially this donor driven environment is going out of the hand. Why? Because with all the COVID, all the core businesses are challenged. So the donors are coming down. Donors can't donate it like throughout. But sustainability is coming up. And more importantly, Aruna, just to finish your question, consumer maturity has gone up to do businesses with who are sustainability driven, which is a great signal. So just tap into that. Definitely we can. But great concern. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this exercise itself. Thank you very much, Aruna, for that question. That's a beautiful question. Any other question, guys? I'm done. As I promised you, it's 60 minutes of 10:30. I hope that I was able to make even a little bit of a change in your thought process. That's all I wanted to do. Because business model canvas, YouTube it, you're gonna get in 3 minutes of what are the 9 blocks. But if we can think commercial for the impact, and we can drive impact for a longer term. Any other questions, guys, before I sign off? No? Right. While I wait for questions, a few things that I can say is I am a big believer, a forceful, unstructured, forceful minds without a lot more concepts and theories can do wonders. So if you are learning a lot of things for the new time, for the first of its nature today, I'm sure that you are the most powerful mind today. I'm sure that you will nail this. Get into as a team. Let's fight for sustainability and beyond your 54 hours of commitment over this weekend. And I believe when people are either partying on a long weekend, or either people are worried and stuck inside, you have taken a meaningful decision of participating in a sustainability challenge, right? So that itself is proving that you are an impact driven sustainable thing. So yes, wishing you all the very best, guys, for you to do this great. So I'll wait for Anagi to come and take over. Anagi, right? But yeah, so I wishing you all the very best to do a great contribution into this, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy your experience. Keep enjoying, but focus on business. Focus on business model canvas. Understand how it works. Think on that. Think on the progress, right? How and it should be done, right? Yes, yes. I'll thank you very much for having the patience in 1 hour to listen to me, and wishing you all the very best, guys. Back to you, Anagi.
Thank you so much, Fawaz. So, guys, I hope you guys learned a lot. That was a very descriptive and a very useful segment of our startup weekend. So, you guys have 1 hour to work on your business model canvas. So, the organizers have shared a template that you can fill in. So, it has been shared via email, and also I saw it was on Discord, on the knowledge channel, and I think on the announcement channel. So you can check it up. So next up we have at 11:30 our next session on market validation, which is equally important because, as Fawaz mentioned, the customers must validate, like, it should, you should make sure that your business idea is viable. So that is very crucial. So we can wrap up this session for now, but I'll see you guys again on YouTube Live at 11:30 with our next speaker for market validation. If you guys have any other questions, maybe for the tech team, for me, or even for Fawaz, please drop it on the Discord channel so then we can look into it. Okay, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you at 11:30. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Techstar Startup Weekend Sustainability Edition. Um, if my screen can be shared as well, the team. Thank you. Okay, so guys, we are done with the business model canvas workshop, which was conducted by Fawaz. And you guys had 1 hour to work on your business canvas model. And now, next up, we have Kitmini, who will speak to you about market validation. So she will tell you how you can go speak to your potential customers and validate your idea. So, guys, as of now, I hope that you have started filling your template that we gave for the business model canvas. So, the importance of filling that template is we will be using it to actually you will be using it to brief the mentors on what your idea is, and for the mentors it will be easier if they see the whole picture of your business through the model canvas. So that's the reason we want you to fill out the business model canvas as soon as possible and finish it off, because after Kitmini is done with her session you can start off with your market validation. So guys, without further ado, I would like to invite Kitmini to take up the stage and give her expertise on market validation. Hi, Kitmini.
Hi, Aniki. Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Hi.
for the introduction. Hope
Yeah.
you all can hear me well.
Yes, we can.
All right. Hi everyone. So nice to it's really nice to meet you all. Even though I can't see you all, it's nice to come here and talk to you all. I wish you guys are doing great with the startup weekend so far. And so as Aniki said, you all have gone through the business model canvas as well. My name is Kidmini Nisanka, and I just to tell a little bit about me. Actually, I work at the United Nations Development Program. Within UNDP, we have a special program called Hackadev. Where we focus a lot on innovations and entrepreneurship, especially engaging young people in Sri Lanka. We work a lot with social innovators and social entrepreneurs. Actually, this Hackaday program have a few arms to it, having a few innovation challenges and skill building on entrepreneurship, and we do have a part on incubation support as well. Yes, that's what I am engaged with. Just to tell about myself. Yes, enough about what I do. Let's come to see what we are going to talk about today. So let me share my screen. All right. Hope you all can see my screen. Okay. Hope you all can see my screen. All right. As Anagi said, today we are going to talk about market validation. Before actually going to the content and what we are going to talk about, I would like to hear from you guys. I would like to see in your comments what actually does market validation mean to you? What does market validation mean to you? I would like to hear from you guys. Can we have something on chat? Can you guys let me know what you all think market validation is? Not the chat, sorry, on comments. Any ideas? Any comments? What market validation mean to you? No idea. No comments. All right. All right. Let's go forward. It's okay. Actually, within the session today, we are going to talk about what is market validation, and also why market validation is so important. And also, we are going to talk about how you can do your market validation. Like, what are the ways, what are the methodologies you can use to validate your market. Okay, there I get something. Making sure our startup have enough customers, of course, that is part of market validation. And yes, we will be talking about how we are going to value of product in market. Of course, we are going to in market validation, you are going to see what is the value of your product in the market. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your comments. Moving forward, so it's actually a known fact that most of the startups do not fail as a failure from their product development angle, but most of the times it is a failure because we don't have enough customers. As I think Rashmi said, if you don't have enough customers, then your product will fail. So, why do you think new businesses fail? So, why there's a big possibility for the new businesses to fail? Can I have in the chat also? Can I have in the comment section? Can I hear your ideas? Why do you think new businesses can fail? Until you guys put in your comments, let's move forward also, since we have very limited time as well. Um, Actually, one of the major reasons for the new businesses to fail is actually building a product or a service that no one wants. If our customer, if our possible customers that we are thinking of, if our assumed customers do not need what we are producing, if there's no demand from them for the product or the service that we are bringing into the market, then actually your business definitely will fail, because you don't have your customers to buy your product or the service. Okay, so actually this all of this actually starts with a problem or a pain point. Why would I say it starts with a problem or a pain point? When you solve a problem, when you bring in a solution for an existing problem, then there will be demand for that solution, because since you are addressing a pain point of a set of people or set of customers, then there will be definitely there will be a demand for it, because you are addressing a pain point. So when you are doing that, actually, if when you select your problem, if that problem have not been tried to be solved by these people who are facing this problem itself, if they haven't tried options, if they haven't tried to solve that problem, then that problem is not big enough for you to tap into, because if they're not trying to solve it by themselves, then that means that problem is not a big issue for them. Like, it doesn't matter to them. So only if it matters to them, only you have room to bring in a new solution, right? So yes, I get some comments on the comment section. Product quality does not match customers expectation. Of course, that is a reason for a failure. Right. So now, actually, your goal should be to understand if there's a problem worth solving in the first place. Because if this problem is worth solving, only you will have room to bring in a new solution. All right, we'll see how we are going to identify. There are actually a lot of ways to identify problems. There are a lot of tools that you can use, but I am not going to talk a lot about the picking your problem to be solved. But let's move forward with what we can do about your market validation. So when you're designing your experiment, actually you have to research and see whether your customers recognize that the problem is a problem. So whether it's a problem worth solving, so that is the same thing. And also, if there was a solution for that problem, would they buy it? So that also we have to validate, because otherwise, if they are not willing to buy a solution for that problem, then no point of bringing in a solution. So also, will they buy our solution? So that means, is our solution is the best solution for this problem? And also, can we build that? That means, do we have capacity? Do we have the necessary resources to build this solution? So how you can move forward with like designing your experiment is, there actually these are three major things that you need to focus when you're going for your market validation. So you have to identify your market size. Like, it says how many of them exist. Like, you can't say an exact number that your market has, but you can have a rough idea how big is your market, like as a percentage of the population, or as a percentage of that area or something. You can have a rough idea how big is your market. And also, how much will they pay for it? Like, what is their capability to pay on this specific problem. So how much will they pay for a solution on that problem? And also, how easy are they to find? So what are the channels that you're going to reach to your customers? So how accessible are they? So these areas are very important to be focused when you're identifying your customers. How can we identify our customers, and how can we see how big is our market size, and then how much they are willing to pay, and all of those things? How can we find out? What are the tools we can use to find this out? What do you guys think? And especially being in a pandemic duration, what do you all think? What tools that we can use to find more details about our market? Can I also have in the chat? Sorry, on the comment section. Can I hear from you guys? Anything you all think? Any thing you think will be better to be used? All right. Let me tell you a few actually. So since we are facing a pandemic situation, and since we do not have much access to the access to our physical work, like we can't physically access our people, so we have to go for virtual methods. So yes, social media and digital platforms are one of the major areas we can touch. Also, you can see SurveyMonkey, Google Forms, and there's a lot of online forms you can use to collect information. So we have SurveyMonkey, Google Forms, and we have Microsoft Forms and Jot Forms, and there are a lot of things. Yes, Aruna has also said online forums. So we can use online forms to collect information. But when you are collecting information on online forms, we do have a little bit of disadvantages also. So this is something you will get when you use online forms to get information. So you say you can ask a question: would you use this product in the future? So you give options like this, and you get a chart like this, so you know how many of them, from your sample strongly agrees with this statement, and agrees with this statement, and disagrees, and whatnot. But there's a problem, because this is very basic, because people can just, when you're talking about the future, since it's not it's a very basic thing for them to say, just click one button and say strongly agree. But we actually don't know whether they are telling the truth to us. So in that case, actually we have to be very concerned or mindful about this. So when we actually can get a lot of information through the forms, but it's just a verification that we get on these specific areas we ask from them. But then it doesn't actually validate much on those information. So there's the validity is a little less on the online forms. And also the online forms you will be most of the time sending to the known people, your friends, your colleagues, your family. So those people are little reluctant to disappoint you. So in that case, they will sometimes not tell you the truth. So in that case, one of the major ways or the methodologies that you can use is interviews. So interviews are very important. If we can have physical interviews, that's amazing, because you can actually monitor, and you can notice each and everything that you're going to ask from them. So you can notice very clearly and very mindfully when you meet them physically. But if not, at a time like this, we can do something like a video call. So we have a lot of platforms that we can take a video call with our interviewee or our customer. So you can use Zoom, you can use Google Meet or WhatsApp or anything to have a video call with them. So when you're having a video call, actually we can monitor them and get more get a broader idea from them, from what they are telling to us. So in the interviews also, it is same like what I said before on the online forms. If you're going to interview your family, if you're going to interview your friends, then it's definitely a little risky, because they can be lying to you, because we have to be very cautious, because they might lie to you. But why would they lie to us? There are reasons, right? They are very close ones to you, so they love you, and they don't want to disappoint you. So they will be telling you what you want to hear rather than the truth. So we have to be very cautious about what they're telling. So we have to check whether they are very serious about what they're telling. And always try to get information from your friends and colleagues as well. But at the same time, try to reach your actual customers. Try to reach your the right customers who are actually facing the problem that you are trying to solve. So try to reach to them, try to reach your beneficiaries, always, rather than only going for your friends and colleagues. Just don't send the link for the Google form, or the Survey Monkey form on your WhatsApp chats that you have, but try to find out who are the actual customers, who are the people actually going to use your product. So try to reach to them and get their ideas, and try to fix a little time and have a video call and do an interview with them, so which will provide you further verified and validated information on your market. So when you're doing the interviews, these are few things that you can concern about. So let them talk about their life, their problems and troubles. So because ideas are irrelevant here, because you're trying to understand the problem better. So let them talk about their problems and understand things from there. And also ask about specifics in the past. When was the last time? So be very specific in your questions. Do not ask for the opinion on your idea, because if you ask about their opinion on your idea, if they are your friends and all, definitely they'll say this is a brilliant idea, this is a great idea. But that might not be the actual case also for them. So therefore, be very mindful about that as well. So don't go and ask their opinion on your idea. Just try to understand the problem more. And also listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. Listen to their body language, their emotions, their feelings, and whatnot. whatnot. So you can understand better. If you be very careful and listen to them, you can grab important things from their interview. When you're doing the interviews, you can grab important points from their talks. And then actually, so these can be a few commonly asked questions when you're doing your interviews. So if we ask, like, if we build a product that solve a problem, let's say, like, if we take a problem like, let me take a problem which comes as a social problem, let's say cyber violence. If you ask your customer, if you build a product that solved cyber violence, like that brings a solution to cyber violence, would you use it? Is a very like very leading question that they can say yes, right, very easily, that they can say yes. And also, how much would you pay for something which solves the problem of cyber violence? Definitely they'll say a figure, but they will not think too much about it. And also, would you like you can ask, like, would you like an existing solution, that if there are any platforms which supports to prevent cyber violence. So you can ask whether, do you like this existing solutions? So it's a very leading question, so they can say yes easily. So do not ask these kind of these kind of questions, because this will not give you the best information that you can go ahead and do. So do not ask these kind of questions. So actually, what kind of questions can we ask? um, and also, let me explain these three golden rules when you're asking questions from your interviewees. So don't go and pitch your idea. So still, you're going to validate whether your idea is the best idea. So don't go and pitch your idea, because we are collecting this information. We are collecting this information to validate our solution, whether our solution is the best solution for this problem. And also, we are going to find more about the problem that we are tackling. So don't go and pitch your idea, and also don't talk about the future. If there's something like this coming in future, will you use it? So don't ask that question. Also, don't ask leading questions. So they will say yes, no very easily. So don't ask leading questions. Always try to ask open-ended questions that they have to elaborate more, which will give you more information. So let's see what kind of questions that we can ask from our customers. So if you ask, if it is about cyber violence again, if you ask, what is the hardest part about cyber violence? Like, if somebody has faced cyber violence, so you can ask this. And if since I'm talking about cyber violence, in those cases, if you are tackling some sensitive issues like that, make sure that you don't get your customers to come on video call and give you information, because it will have some contradiction with what we are doing. So make sure to keep the confidentiality and everything as well. But if it is not a sensitive area like that, let's take pick me as an example. So they brought a solution how people can easily book a ride, right? So if you're talking about booking a ride, then you can ask, what's the hardest part about booking a ride in Colombo? So they will tell a lot of information. What are the pain points that they're going through? What are the issues that they're going through when booking a ride? So they will tell all the information to you, because you're asking an open-ended question. And also, you can ask, can you tell me about the last time that happened? Like, if it is cyber violence, you can ask, can you tell me a little bit about last time that happened to you? Like, you had an experience like that. So they will tell you more information. Try to be empathetic, try to be very friendly and all, if you're coming to those kind of sensitive areas as well. um, and also, why was that hard? Like, if you're coming to the booking a ride thing, if you ask why was that hard, then they can tell you like thousand and more reasons that why it is so hard, right? So they will say, it's the peak time that I was trying to book a cab, so no cabs were available, no drivers were available, and it's a rainy time that I tried, so all the cabs were full, so I couldn't get one. And so those kind of things, you will get more information when you ask those type of questions. And another one you can ask is, what have you done to solve this problem? Like, if they have done anything, like have they tried any other options? Like, so if we are talking about booking a ride, then you can ask what are the things they have done to solve this problem. Some will say, I have tried transportation service, office transport, or some will say, I have tried taxi service or something, I have called and tried. So they will tell advantages and disadvantages and what they have gone through when they're trying other solutions. So you get a better idea about your competitors also. You get a better idea what are the existing other solutions also through these kind of questions. And also, you can ask, what don't you love about the solutions you have tried? So in this question, you're definitely uh, going to get to know what are the weaknesses of your competitors. What are the points that you can actually, what are the pain points they go through with the other solutions, where you can bring in a better solution, where these customers will get a better solution and you can drag them to your solution easily. So these are the very good questions that you can ask them. So you can see an example. So this is regarding a travel food startup. So the question is not to be asked is, what's the hardest part about getting food tourism packages? So this is very specific. It's food tourism packages. So what is hardest part? But also, if you ask what's the hardest part about being a tourist, that is too broad. You don't give any limitation, any specification as well. So don't ask those type of questions. But when you ask what's the hardest part about being a tourist on a budget, so it's specific, and it gives them a chance to elaborate more and give you a specific answer. So go for questions like that. And let me tell you a few tricks and hacks that you can use when you are doing your interviews, or even on your virtual forms, that the online forms that you're going to use. You can do the same. Like, you can ask similar kind of questions, rather than getting them to rate your ideas or getting them to say yes or no. So don't go for those leading questions. Always go for the open-ended and specific questions. So these are a few tricks and hacks that you can use. So always encourage stories. So you can say, definitely on interviews, you can say, tell me about a time. So tell me about a time that you have gone through this problem. So like that, you can encourage stories, so where you can grab a lot of information from your customers. So ask open-ended questions, as I said, and get to specifics. So specifically ask about the areas you want to focus, and do not lead. So don't ask any leading questions. And also ask why, which will give you further information. And also short questions, because if you ask a very, very long question, they will forget the beginning of the question when you're coming to the end. So so I'm getting a comment. So we need to use the same set of open-ended questions to every customer we interview. Need to use the same set of questions. That actually will depend, I would say, because if you have a customer segmentation or something, because your product can be for different types of customers also. So if you have your customer segments done properly, so when you're going to different customer segments, do change your questions, because it will definitely have to be changed depending on their requirements and their capacity and whatnot to buy your product. So you will have to change, but within your sample, you can ask similar questions from everybody. But when you're going to your customer, like different customer segmentations, you can definitely ask different questions also. So another one is to ask about past or the present, and also make sure that you give time to answer. and don't cut short their answers. Don't get too excited also, and give time to answer again, and look for inconsistencies, and don't be afraid of silence, because they will answer. So just kind of motivate them to answer for your questions as well. All right, so these are few things that you can use in your questions, and let's go into Wave. So when you're going and interviewing, so make sure that do they have the problem you're trying to solve. So you have to ask from the people who are having this problem that you are trying to solve, and also are they trying to solve or get rid of this problem. Make sure they want to get rid of this problem, and also try to get an idea how much money are they investing already in solving this problem as well. And when you do your interviews, you will get a lot of information in your hand. So make sure to measure that, do a little bit of analysis, and get an idea. Like do a little bit of analysis, and have a better idea about your results that you got from your interviews, and also learn from what you have got from your results as well. So sometimes your assumptions on your product or the problem cannot be perfect, the first assumptions you had. So you will learn that your first assumptions were wrong. So accept that, and make sure you do the necessary changes when you're going for the second round of product development or whatnot. So learn from it. Go ahead and learn, and then also faster you can develop an organized system, faster you will be able to develop your product as well. So it's better to go for, if you don't get enough information, so go for another interview round or something, so you get a better actually a perfect solution to be given to the market. So you have got further, like, more information about your market, and you can validate them. So as a summary, actually, keep in mind that surveys do not validate stuff, so they can only verify. But you can but at this time you can definitely go for surveys, online forms and whatnot, but make sure you validate all the information you get from them, and then go interview customers to validate if they had the real problem. So go for your real customers, and this mum test is something that you can when everybody is lying to you, it's something you can do. So go and search about that also. So these are the things that I wanted to talk to you about market validation. I know it was a very short time, and guys, this is your criteria on market validation. So you have to go and talk to your customers. So at least within the 1 or 2 days we have until tomorrow, try to talk to, at least do one Google form or something, and share it with at least 10 to 15 people, and get some feedback on that, and try to validate that with at least having 1 or 2 video calls with your customers. So you have a better understanding on your market validation, and also make sure you are actually solving a problem. So validate your problem as well, and tell and make sure that you identify a specific target market as well, because don't try to go for a broader market. You have to have a targeted market, because we can't solve everyone's problem, and we can't our problem, our solution can't be everyone in the country also. So have your target market properly. So at least try to have these at least 1 or 2 video calls will give you a good idea about your market. So make sure you do it before the pitch tomorrow. I think that's what we need to talk about, and I think my time is finishing as well. Um, Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for listening in, and it was a great pleasure to come in and talk to you guys. Hope I made sense on market validation. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Anagi, can I hand over to you? Or? Right, I think. Thank you, guys. I think I can go ahead.
Hi, guys. Um, Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot, Kit Mini. I'm so sorry. There was a small technical difficulty. I couldn't join in as you were finishing your session. I hope everyone got a clear idea as to how you should do your market validation. Guys, we will also share a few material as to how you can do your prototyping. So rather than doing a session, we thought that we would share the information with you so that you can take it at your own pace. But you have to start doing your prototype. You have to start building the minimum viable product of your business. So we will share the necessary resources for that. Other than that, all these sessions, that is the session that Fawaz did and also the session that Kitmini did, both the sessions are available on our YouTube link that you just watched. So you can watch it over again if you missed something. So that advantage is there when it comes to an online event. So other than that, guys, I think we can move out to Discord right now, and we will be back at 2 p.m. When the mentoring sessions start. So the mentoring sessions will be going on in Discord. If so, what how it happens is, as I mentioned, the business model canvas. So you have to fill it accordingly and have the presentation ready so that the team leader can present it on Discord, on your Discord voice channel. Um, and so that the mentors can have a clear idea of what your business is and what are the components in your business. So the team leader has been given access in your voice channel to share your screen. So make sure that all the team leaders, you check this feature out, whether you can share screen. If not, please drop a message on our tech support channel. Then we can sort it out for you. So, yeah, those are the things I wanted to tell you. If there's anything else, just reach out to us on Discord. Um, so yeah, we will put up the schedule for the mentors so that you know what are the time slots and who are the mentors who will be coming in for your relevant team. So yeah, so guys, before it's too late, finish off your business model canvas, start validating your idea, and also make sure that your Discord settings in your voice channel is enabled so that you can share screen and speak to your mentors during the mentoring session. I will be back at 2 p.m. on Discord. We will not have a YouTube session. It will be purely on Discord. If things go south, we will have a Zoom link so that you can have the team meetings on Zoom. So we will start off with Discord for the mentor meetings at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much, guys.
A planet that needs to provide 50% more energy.
We are transforming waste into polymer yarn to create a new product where you wouldn't never say it has been recycled. We started with 3 fishermen from the east coast of Spain, a little port, which all the waste that got collected in the ocean, when they pull up the nets with the fish, instead of throwing it back to the ocean, they would put in the container and take it to the port. And we started with 3 fishermen, now it's over 3,000, nearly 600 tons of waste taken out from the bottom of the ocean. I was reading this cotton company, or one of the biggest cotton companies in the world, burning 4,000 acres of forest in Ethiopia to plant more cotton. So at the end, what? We're burning the forest to plant cotton to make t-shirts of €3, which are going to finish in landfill in less than 2 years. It has no sense. No, at the end, we need to start recycling our own t-shirts to create new t-shirts. We don't have to burn new forests. Waste is only waste if you waste it. We cannot think of waste, of trash, as something we don't need. First of all, there's not going to be enough space to keep on putting all the waste we create. There's not enough landfills, there's not enough, you cannot keep on burying it. So we have to start using that waste. No? And when you start analyzing, most of the products we use are able to be recycled. No? At the end, it's a matter of technology and it's a matter of innovation. And that technology exists and it's improving day after day. What you do is not enough anymore. I think how you do it is much more important. Anybody can make a t-shirt, or anybody can make a building, or anybody can make food. But the problem is, how is that made? How is that food made? How is that building made? Is it efficient in terms of energy? How is that t-shirt made? What pollutants are you using? What dyeing material? How much water are you using? So I think there has to be a purpose, there has to be a meaning. I don't think the world needs more companies doing things in the same way.
A planet that needs to provide 50% more energy, 50% more food, 30% more water over the next couple of decades, it simply is not going to happen unless we change the way that we consume.
The circular economy is a fundamentally different economic model. It's taking the entire global economy, looking at it through a different lens and saying how can we valorise our economy to a higher level. So never at any point would anything made within a circular economy become waste.
In all the systems, we are basically not properly addressing the need for change.
In a circular economy thinking, we actually will recuperate the value of the product when it comes to the end of its life cycle.
Look at the commodity indexes of the last 100 years, we saw that price come down for a century. The problem is those prices have more volatility in them than we've ever seen before in history.
The supply of these polymers are one of the most abundant resources we have on a daily basis. If you use less energy, you use less chemical to produce new material, of course you're going to have financial savings.
This is the largest business opportunity ever seen by our species.
With recurring revenues that come out of a base of customers that will take my product as a service, I can build a very profitable and recurring revenue stream.
It has developed over time exactly into a virtual ownership of the material throughout the whole product life cycle.
What the customer needs to see is personal benefit to them. They've got to walk into a shop, into a store, online and see that they buy a product and service that they want. It's sexy, it's aspirational, it's the right price point. And by the way, it's also circular.
With technology, materials, science, the Internet of Things, we can use our innovation and creativity to really build an economy that is more circular.
Co-facilitator for Startup Weekend Women Hambantota.
So nice to be in Hambantota for this Startup Weekend and Women's Edition. I'm representing the government of Sri Lanka. I'm working for the Ministry of Digital Infrastructure and Information Technology.
It's been an amazing experience. Like, we have an amazing mix of participants and it's a really new experience for us as well.
The Startup Weekend is a good platform to engage all these partners into a more professional approach to sustain whatever the business ideas they may have.
The Startup Weekend can be identified as a very effective and a significant program where they will help the budding entrepreneurs in countries.
This program, I had no idea what entrepreneurship is, but this crew behind the Startup Weekend taught us the basic aspects of entrepreneurship within 3 days, and we had lots of fun, we met lots of new people and we did lots of fun activities.
We basically handpick people who has passion, who is willing to work hard and help another person.
We saw that comfort level set in. It went really well, and I think everyone grasped the concepts really well.
ව්‍යාපාර සහයි අදහස් හොඳින් අහගෙන ඒවට දෙන්න පුළුවන් උදව් ලබා දීලා ඔවුන්ගේ දියුණුව කරහා යම්කිසි අඩිතාලමක් දෙන්න අප සියලු දෙනාම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Hi, I'm Anurag from India, and I work with Techstars and StartupWeekend to build startup communities and entrepreneurial ecosystems around the Asia Pacific. And I'm here in Sri Lanka to launch or kick off our first StartupWeekend in Sri Lanka in the northern province of Jaffna. And actually right now I'm here at the bridge between the Indian Ocean. It's wonderful to be here to organize this first ever StartupWeekend with the help of awesome local entrepreneurs who are building these ecosystems and started their journeys at an early age. Now they came together to really empower local citizens of Jaffna and local citizens of Sri Lanka in creating great businesses locally that can empower and change many lives, because Jaffna has been a city which has affected badly, this northern province has been affected badly in past through Sri Lankan civil wars. So I think it was such a wonderful opportunity to make an impact in the lives of people by empowering them, by creating jobs and helping them through startup education.
Hi guys, I'm Shamar. I'm part of the organizing team of the Startup Weekend Jaffna. Actually, we got Startup Weekend into Jaffna to get Jaffna into Sri Lanka startup ecosystem, and we got a lot of traction here, and we have a lot of participants. We got mentors from Colombo coming down here, and it's good to see how people come up with these ideas, and most of them are like localized. They are trying to solve their own problems. It's good to see the mentors helping them to get the ideas into a proper pitch, and in the night the judges will judge their final pitch. So hopefully we will have some good startups coming up from Jaffna.
So now this is practically the first time I see Jaffna, but things like Startup Weekend is not new to us, but we're really impressed by how hard you guys are actually working and to validate your products. Like, we were shocked when the team from Smart Data actually came up and validated their idea with us. Like, that was just amazing to see how practically everyone's going out there and working on building these startups. So this is like a new experience for us, and we've been doing this for about 3 years. So wow.
Finally, our dream came true. Right now I'm standing in the Startup Weekend Jaffna, Sri Lanka event area. As you can see, there are mock pitching is going on there, and the real final presentation is going to start around 4:50, and so it's going to be amazing. I'm sure about that. And behalf of the organizing committee, I'm thanking for the attendees, mentors, coaches, and judges. Thank you for being here.